Green Friday is the new Black Friday. And don't just believe me. Research has shown that consumers are looking to support more sustainable businesses and have more sustainable practices, even in the holiday season. Now, if you don't know what Green Friday is, I would suggest watching this video before you watch this one. But just real quickly, Green Friday is a counter movement to the regular Black Friday that we celebrate here in the US because of its tendencies to be very wasteful. Black Friday has such a negative impact on the planet that a lot of people are looking to make more sustainable choices and instead choose to practice Green Friday. As a small business, you most likely have customers that prefer to celebrate Green Friday rather than Black Friday. And that's just because people that tend to support local businesses and smaller businesses tend to be more eco-conscious and just aware about the planet and the impact that we're having on the planet. So Green Friday is actually a great opportunity for you to boost your sales while still staying aligned with your values. Yes, it's possible. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? My name is Maricruz. I'm an engineer, environmentalist, and entrepreneur. And in this channel, I'm your small business coach. Now, you can't just go into the Green Friday holiday season without preparing. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to prepare for Green Friday because this could potentially be the biggest source of sales your whole year. Especially if you're doing it correctly and if you're aligning correctly and if you're preparing correctly. Now, I'm going to give you 5 steps to prepare for Green Friday. And I really think number 5 is a very important one that most people forget about. So make sure you stick around till the end and let's get right into it. Okay, the first step is to plan your strategy. And in order to do this, you're going to first start with identifying your goals. So this is important because you need to determine what you're trying to get out of the Green Friday sale. Are you looking to get rid of inventory? Are you looking to get new customers? Or are you just looking to boost overall sales? Depending on what you pick, that's going to guide how you go about this Green Friday sale. So this is a very important part. And that's why it's number 1. And that's why it's the first point of discussion here. You also need to set up a budget as part of your plan. So this is the budget. For example, if you're going to offer a discount, you have to determine what your business can take. As far as like, if you give 70% off, obviously you're going to boost your sales, but that might not leave any money for you. So you have to be careful on these discounting. So you have to set up a budget. Also, because we are doing Green Friday instead of Black Friday, I would strongly suggest donating a portion of your sales or your profits to a nonprofit of your choice. I think this will really resonate with your customer, especially if they're choosing to support Green Friday instead of Black Friday. I think this will be really important. This is the time of giving, right? It's the day after Thanksgiving, literally. So a lot of people are thinking of ways to do better in the world and to do more for others. So if you could include in your budget what percentage you can give to a nonprofit that's supporting maybe something related to your business, I think that would be a cool addition to your offer. And I think it'll really resonate with your customer. So consider that. But make sure you plan for it, right, in your budget. And lastly, as part of planning your strategy, you need to choose what deal you're going to do, right? And I think for this, it's very easy to just say, oh, I'm just going to do 30% off the whole website. Or if you're at a market, you can very easily say, oh, I'm just doing everything buy one, get one. Which is cool if that's the way you want to go and you don't have a lot of time to plan. But I would actually suggest doing a little bit of more research and seeing, for example, like what's your bestseller, and maybe offering some percentage off on that one, or maybe there's a free gift that you could include with a purchase, and maybe that's a better way to approach your customer. There's really a lot of different ways to create an offer that is not just 30% off everything, right? So this could really be a good opportunity for you to review in the past what has worked and really create an offer that's like juicy and that nobody can resist. Also consider doing bundles or like gift packages during this time, because people love a good bundle, right? If you're like, I'll give you three of my products and make them 20% off or whatever, people love that. Step number 2 is to prepare your inventory. Okay, so all of the sales are gonna be trickling in, pouring in, and you're gonna be overwhelmed if you don't know if you have enough inventory. So from experience, I will say, make sure that you have enough inventory for whatever you're offering. If you're offering a free gift with every purchase, make sure you have enough of those gifts. If you are doing like a buy one, get one sale, make sure you're actually stocked up enough to offer that to enough people, right? So it might seem a little trivial here, but I've fallen for that trap so many times where I'm like, I'm not gonna get that many sales. And then they come pouring in and I don't have the stock to fulfill them. So don't make that mistake. You also have to make sure you think about your packaging. So again, we're participating in Green Friday, not Black Friday. So your customer is going to want to receive something that is more eco-friendly, right? If you're sending out a package in plastic mailers, it might not sit that well when the reason they probably purchased from you, a small business, is because they were trying to do better for the planet. And especially if they were trying to support Green Friday, right? So I would take a look at how you currently ship out your products and that like customer experience as they're receiving your beautiful, beautiful product, right? Also, I think this is a great time to include maybe a little insert, a little paper insert where you tell them what nonprofit they're supporting with their purchase. It's always a good idea to make your customer feel good about their purchase. So this would be a great time, even if it's just for this Green Friday sale that you're donating part of your profits. I think it's a great time to let your customer know. And then they'll feel good. And maybe you can even include a code in there for their next purchase, right? Maybe like Green 30 for 30% off their next one. Yes, think about packaging, even if you're in person. If you are doing in-person markets during this holiday or in the holiday season in general, think about also how you are packaging it in person. And under the same preparing your inventory, organize your warehouse. I know for a lot of us, our warehouse is our home because if you're like me, you still have a bunch of inventory in the closet. So that still requires some organization because you are expecting to get a lot of sales, right? So you want to streamline your process as much as possible. I have some examples here. This is something we bought last year, actually. This is actually a tape dispenser. Because we use this eco-friendly paper tape that requires water activation, we used to have to do it with a sponge. And it would take so long, like ripping this off, wetting it with the sponge, and then putting on the thing. And sometimes it was lopsided. It was a disaster. So this little tape dispenser has a water bath in there, and this gets wet. And then as you take off the tape, it makes it wet for you so that you don't have to be struggling like we used to be struggling. Simple, but it saves us so much time. So think about your kind of workflow as you're shipping out orders. See where you can streamline the process. Step 3 is to enhance your online or physical store. So if you're online, you should look at a couple of things. So if you're online, you should look at these 3 things. 1, website speed. There's nothing worse than your customer getting to your website and having to wait 5 minutes for your website to load. Not even 5 minutes, 30 seconds. People have a really short attention span and they can't stay there and look at your website as it loads for 30 seconds. We can't do that as customers, right? So you have to make sure that you're website is optimized. And this doesn't have to be as complicated as you think. Sometimes your host, whatever your website host you have, has a free optimization tool. Or you can hire somebody on Fiverr for less than $30 to optimize your website speed. The second thing on your website is to secure it. Usually there's free plugins that you can add to whatever website host you have to make sure that you're safe against cyber attacks. These are very common during Black Friday and Green Friday. So I would suggest getting one, even if it's a free one, to try to protect as much as possible your website while you're having these amazing sales. And the third thing, this one's super important, test out your checkout process, especially if you have a discount or a BOGO or some sort of offering that requires kind of like a different website flow. Make sure you test it, please. Again, speaking for experience, make sure you pretend to buy everything and that all the discounts are applied correctly. You don't want to get to Green Friday and have 50 million emails because this thing didn't apply correctly, or hey, it says buy one get one and I didn't get to do a test before the day. Okay, and for your physical store, whether this is a brick and mortar or if you're doing holiday markets and have like a vendor setup, here's a few tips. I would work on your signage. And what I mean by this is to create little signs that tell your story, that tell the customer why they should support you and support you in Green Friday versus Black Friday. So maybe the nonprofit that you're supporting, a little bit about them, and for sure QR codes. People love QR codes. Like we're here, it's the future. And I have an example here, a simple QR code that we framed in this wooden frame just because it's kind of like our vibe. This is for my sunscreen company, SunMud. Wood is very much our vibe. So we got these wooden frames. They can scan it to get into our email list and be the first to learn about our Green Friday deals, actually. So something like this to add to your vendor booth or to your brick and mortar would be awesome. And I have an example here. Also a little bit on our story as SunMud and some of the benefits of our sunscreen. So little things like this can enhance your physical booth or your physical store if you have one, and are a great idea to get those prepared before Green Friday. Also, if you're in person, I would consider some holiday gift wrapping, maybe some eco-friendly holiday gift wrapping. People love it when they don't have to wrap the gifts themselves. So if you have like a little vendor booth with, I don't know, candles or jewelry or whatever you're selling, and you could get a cute little eco-friendly package, I think it goes a long way and people are more likely to buy from you if they don't have to wrap it. And the fourth step is to tell people about your sale. So if you're gonna be offering something cool, make sure you tell people about it. I think sometimes people are just expect others to find their website and then find out that they're having a sale, or maybe you just post it on your story once. Like, no, prepare a good marketing plan. And I know this can be tough if you don't know anything about marketing, or if you are a solopreneur and you're just doing it by yourself, but use what you already have. So if you have an email list, let them know you're having the sale, especially your email list. They already are people that love your product. So make sure you tell them. Social media, it doesn't have to be anything big. Honestly, if you make one post about it, then you can keep reposting that same post to your story and it's like no work. Or you can hop on real quick and say, hey, we're having the sale on your story. It takes 30 seconds, but it'll really get your message out there. And if people know you're having a sale, then they'll want to support you. But if they don't know, they can't. A little word here on advertising. It can be a good idea right now to do some advertising, but it is super flooded. So if everybody and their mother is doing a Black Friday sale and everybody and their mother is paying for ads right now at this moment. So you can see if you have the budget, go for it. You can reach new eyes. If your planned strategy is to reach more people rather than more sales, then of course ads are a great way to do that. But yeah, just a little word of caution that it's a little saturated during this time. So I don't know what this means, but do this. And the fifth and final step is to prepare your staff or yourself. I know if you're like me, we don't have staff, right? So prepare yourself for this influx of interactions, right? So put it on your calendar. Make sure you plan out that week because you're going to have a lot more to respond to, right? So you're going to have a lot more emails. You're going to have a lot more shipping to do. You're going to have just in general more things to do because you're going to have more attention drawn to your business during this time, especially if you're just doing a one-day sale. Like, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared mentally to deal with everything that's going to go wrong because that's just how small business life goes. So make sure you give yourself that week to kind of prepare. Maybe include a little walk at the beach or a little yoga or a little meditation or breath work prior to the day because it's gonna get wild, right? If you prepared and if you marketed it and if you're getting this influx of people to your website or to your store, or if you're setting up in person, like, everything takes so much energy. So make sure you take care of yourself during this week and plan rest in your week during this time. Actually, my advice, if you're participating in Green Friday, it might be a good idea to extend it the whole week. It doesn't have to be only on that Friday after Thanksgiving, because that'll really give you more breathing room. And it's not just all coming in at you at once on that Friday. This could potentially help with like website errors as well. I've had that happen where there's just too much traffic at once. So, things break down or like the whatever. I don't know how websites work apparently. Yeah, so sometimes things go wrong. So if you could extend it a week, I don't think anyone would be mad to have that offer, the beautiful offer that you are having for your business, be extended for a week. I don't think anyone would mind. So consider that to kind of give you a little more breathing room. And of course, if necessary and if it's in your budget, you can consider hiring additional staff just as contractors for the day, to help out with the extra traffic, both digitally and in person as well. It's always a good idea to consider, but we're not all there, so totally get it if you don't have the budget and the financial means to hire more people, but this is something to consider as well in preparation for Green Friday. I really hope you take the time to prepare for this year's Green Friday, and I really hope you give it a shot because I think your customers would really appreciate it, that you are leaning into this Green Friday and leaning into more of your values of being a good steward to this land. So yeah, I hope you give it a shot. If you do, let me know in the comments. I would love to support your Green Friday initiatives. So leave them down below and hopefully we can support you when it comes to the Green Friday. I think you'll enjoy this video next. I'll leave it linked right there. It's a video about how to craft an elevator pitch. Believe it or not, you are pitching your business all day, every day. As soon as you meet a new person, you probably talk about your business. And especially during the holiday season, you're going to be pitching your company whether you want to or not, or whether you think you are or not. So make sure you have an elevator pitch ready. I can help you do that with that video. And if not, I will see you next week. Until then, don't forget, Poquito goes a long way. Ciao.